Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is the first Burning Questions of 2023 after a short sabbatical. And we've got, I'll tell you what, if you could have heard the material before we went on air, there was some very good stuff. Andy Gath, how are you, my friend?
Good, Jay Bond. Been sitting here for the last 4 weeks waiting to get back on, but good to see that you turned up this week.
Is that what no, you've been, okay. So somebody's been doing the work anyway. Nathan, how are you? You're in a car as well. What do you got in the back there? What's that VF1 in the back seat? What's in that box?
Oh, it's a water pump, Jason. Something that you wouldn't be used to.
I don't even know what a water pump is, but God bless you. Love it. And Michael Stanley, show us your different light variations that you've got there, because right now you're on mid-strength light in the house. Have you got even darker and a bit lighter? Show us when it gets a bit brighter.
I can't get much brighter than this. So, stuck away in the little corner where the girls like to play their game. So, covers up all my bad faults, doesn't it?
Well, most of them. Some of our faults can't be covered up, unfortunately, despite our efforts. Right, let's get stuck in. Question number 1 of the burning questions. Harry and Shawnee are burgeoning beasts, but which has the edge and can both get beat? Nathan, Jack, to you first of all.
I wouldn't want to be swapping mine for anything else. I'd probably prefer to swap the barrier draws, but that's sort of out of my control. But hopefully we can hold a forward spot and see how we go. If I happen to be able to hold the lead, I don't think the other one will beat me, that's for sure.
What chance you got of holding the lead?
Probably not very high, really. How quick Gunning is out the gate, but we'll be trying.
So what happens? Gunning leads and then Bully and Harry's on the scene. Do you just try and balance up Shawnee and give him his best opportunity to just get into rhythm, or do you be a bit more aggressive than that?
Oh, we're going to have to try and come out flat out early and see, like, even if we might be able to tippy-toe Gunning, something like that. But even if that happens, if Gunning gets across, he'll probably be looking for cover, and then hopefully it'll open up and we'll be able to get off or something like that. But we'll just have to play it by ear.
Now, Shawnee's named after Shawnee Gallagher, of course. Are you prepared for the celebrations? Because Shawnee gets up and about, Nath.
He gets very excited, Jason. It's a shame that we can't get more people like Shawnee into it that gets that excited, because he really enjoys it, but he doesn't like losing much.
Michael Stanley, your thoughts on that race?
Yeah, they're obviously both exceptional talents, aren't they? So, Nathan's confidence of holding the lead sort of, swings you a little bit towards Bully and Harry. If Bully and Harry can get out quick enough beside Gunning to shut the gap, maybe. But, I think whoever finds the front in that race is the likely winner. So, you can't really split them on talent going forward, but whoever happens to be the leader, you want to be on.
We're here for Pride's Easy Feed and Falvo Fruits. Falvo have got back into it. The table grapes and the whole lot. It's fantastic to have them on board. Andy, can Central Otago beat both of them?
Probably unlikely. I think he's getting better each run, and he's starting to bridge the gap on some of these horses, but the barrier draw is probably just against him a little bit. So he's going well. But I think pretty rare, like short horse, rock.
No, you're good.
No doubt he's a quality horse, but I just think being Harry probably have the gate speed, find the top, and he'll be the one to beat.
Do we need to take a break?
Mickey, no, all good. Jen just walked in with the groceries. I was just telling her just to be quiet on the way past. That was all.
A couple of there'd be some Falvo fruits in there for sure. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Oh, definitely got some table grapes in there.
Are you a green or a red grape man, Mick?
Green grapes, green table grapes is always the go.
I'm red. What about you, Nathan? What do you prefer?
Yeah, I'm green, J-Bon. Sorry, mate.
But it's okay. I'm not going to take that personally that you like green grapes, mate. Andy, are you going to be red with me or not?
No, I'm not going to agree with you this early on in the year, J-Bon. I'm green.
Well, you'll get stuffed as far as I'm concerned. Unbelievable. I just love grapes in general, but God bless all the grape lovers. God bless Falvo Fruits, and God bless Pride's Easy Feed, for coming on board yet again to help us out with burning questions. As we're going to give a scoreboard this year as well, not only for best bets, but also our answers to these questions, and find out who really knows what they're talking about. Question number 2, Andy Gath, will Madge lead Jet from their gates in the trot? And if that's the case, can the mare close too hot? Are you concerned about having her riding your back? And is that how it's going to pan out anyway?
I think he's, probably right though. I know last time he drew well at Ballarat, he wasn't trotting well. He drew barrier 1. He's trotting a lot better now, and most times he draws pretty good. He can lead. Prefer not have I'm Ready Jet on our back, but that might be the case. Don't be afraid to gallop her out, Nathan, and get her out of the draw for a couple of races going forward. But, we know what a great mare she is. She's very quality. They've had plenty of great clashes before, and plenty of great clashes going forward. So, I think he'll lead Majestuoso. He's always been able to hold, always ready, and if he draws outside, always ready. He can't sort of cross, always ready. They're sort of pretty equal in gate speed. So I think you'll find the top, and he's in pretty good order. Pretty happy with him. He's come through the Dominion Series well. He's still got plenty to offer this season. So, I think he's going to be the one to beat.
If you lead as expected, will you be very disappointed? Will you be downtrodden? Will your bottom lip be dragging on the ground if you get beat?
No, not really. Again, it's a quality field, and our main dangers are probably going to be behind us. And even if you run pretty quick, they're going to be hard to hold off, towards the finish. So, I expect he's a little bit too short to my mind now into $1.80. I think $2 was probably his right price.
I'll tell you what, the good news is that Nathan Jack has already declared that Cravash Door was better than I'm Ready Jet last week. So I'm Ready Jet might not play the game tomorrow night or at Bendigo. You've made a big call. Cravash Door might be better than I'm Ready Jet, but I still think you've got a lot of affection for this mare, and I think it's going to work out where you're going to get every conceivable, Nathan. Your thoughts?
I think she's going to get a really good chance. She probably won't have the gate speed to hold Andy's horse. He's quite quick out, and there's a few out wide that are quite quick as well, but it's a very short run to the first turn, being the mile, so I think that helps all the inside runners. But I think she's going to be a good chance. The other horses have got a lot more race fitness on her side, but if you can compare Hopeful Beauty to I'm Ready Jet, I think I'm Ready Jet's a lot better horse, and sort of Hopeful Beauty stretched Andy's horse the other day. But in saying that, I'm only going to be racing in for 180 metres, so it's going to be hard, but I think it's going to be a good race.
Do you expect anything out wide to have a crack early?
Yeah.
Could you elaborate and extrapolate on those thoughts, please, Nathan?
I think Always Ready will probably have a look early. If they go back from him, he's got no hope. I think Someone's Courage will probably go forward from 7. I don't know how hard they'll go forward, but I think they'll probably have to go forward at some stage.
Do you think they have the speed to cross Majestuoso?
I think they'll struggle. No, not over the mile.
That was a lot to take in. That was pretty convoluted then. Mick, what did you make of all those comments? I didn't learn a hell of a lot, I don't think, but maybe you did. You're a smarter man than I am. What did you come up with?
Well, I came up with that I'm Ready Jet is happy to take a trail on Majestuoso.
We got that bit. Yeah, I know. Even I got that bit.
with the couple out wide that may go forward and just keep Majestuoso striding along a little bit and just enough so I'm Ready Jet can pounce in the sprint lane and still be too good. That's what I took out of it.
So you've got I'm Ready Jet winning now?
No, I think I'm Ready Jet will win anyway. No disrespect to Andy's horse. Obviously, he's a brilliant horse. I just think she's just got the perfect draw. She can race either way. She has already won this race from behind the leader, hasn't she, in the past? Or was that another race at Bendigo? It was the Maori Mile, wasn't it?
I think it was the Maori Mile.
The leader, so I just think she'll sit behind the leader and be too sharp for him in the lane anyway.
So this is great when people say this, Andy. So Mick has said no disrespect. Do you feel any disrespect or just no? Are you happy? It's already been outlined. There's no disrespect involved.
No, definitely not. I don't feel any disrespect. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and we're talking about his horse later and see what I say about his.
It's like when people start a sentence, I don't mean to be rude, I'm not being bad, but you're an absolute, you are being rude. But
well, not really. It's like this. If I'm Ready Jet didn't draw on Majestuoso's back and had to be working wide, I'd be tipping Majestuoso. I just think I'm Ready Jet's going to get a bit better run. hence why I think it'll still win.
Do you think you'll be winning, Nathan?
Yeah, I do.
All right, it's 2-2. I've got my Jesuasa on top. No one wants to go with me with the red grapes, but it's fine. I'll join Andy with this one. 2-2. Question number 3. Has Louis returned Dan Kowalski to best? And if that's the case, do we pray for the rest? We'll start with you, Michael Stanley.
I'm not too sure. I think we'll get a better guide this week because he hasn't raced anything of any note as yet. And in the Stall Cup, he walked around, 60 Raiders. Probably could have led and won that race in the fashion he did. So, look, he's definitely come back in better fashion than when he finished off last time. There's no question about that. But whether he's come back better than his best, we'll get a better guide tomorrow night.
So who's the one to beat him if he does get rolled?
I think it's a really good race. You got horses like Better Be the Bomb and the likes out the back there who have been racing through the Inter-Dominion series that could easily bob up and win this race with no trouble. Now,
first up from a break, Andy Gath. Vintage cheddar, the cheese, the brie, the cheddar, the tasty. I saw a move, $5 into $3.90. You wouldn't have had anything to do with maybe texting a few people and making that happen, would you?
No, nothing to do with me at all, Jay.
No, of course not. No.
No, honestly think he'll need to run. So it's not a stable push for him to firm up in the market. Again, he's a quality horse. We saw what he, won 4 races in a row when he first came over from New Zealand. Then he had a sort of grade 4 bleed last start against Nathan's horse and had a good time off and a pretty good spell. A little bit of setback mid-preparation. That's why he's been off the scene for so long. Trialled only fair, probably a couple of weeks ago, but he's not fitter since then. He's a winning hope, but I think $5 was his right price. I'm not sure why he's firming up, but, David Lewis has got that horse back in really good form. Probably going to get a little bit more pressure than what it has been. So, yeah, it's a quality race. I think the favourite's under the odds, but Better Be the Bottom and Hoolin' N, they're both flying, so they're winning chances as well. So, yeah, I just think the favourite's too short.
Oh, he's going to get pressure, is he? Who's the pressure going to come from?
Well, it still might come from Vintage Shadow, even though he's
right, okay. Right.
I come around and have a look. No point coming back doing nothing.
I find, I'm not saying you're lying, Andy, but there's been one fair trial at Bacchus Marsh that nobody can watch, and they've backed him from $5 to $3.90. So, look, maybe you've said nothing to anybody. Maybe you won't come around. I've got no. Nathan, what are your thoughts?
I think if David's horse gets a good enough run, he'll be too fast for him. But I've got a lot of respect for Andy's horse. I've raced him quite a bit. And I agree with both Mick and Andy. I think Better Be the Bomb and Hoolin' it's a massive drop in grade for them horses, dropping back from the Inter-Dominion. So it's a little bit of a tricky race. But I think if David's horse doesn't get a soft trip, I think he's going to be vulnerable.
No, it's good we're back to loving one another. And I think it's important to start 2023 on a loving note. But apparently we're about to talk about rock and roll do, and Andy Gath has already mentioned shots might be fired across the bow here. So let's get stuck in. Is pole marking draw bless or curse for the do, and does it concern him if Vic Cup was true? Michael Stanley, talk to me about the start. Talk to me about your exchange with the winningest driver in Australasian history on Twitter during the week, and talk about whether you're very confident about winning.
I'm very confident with winning. Very confident about leading might be a different
That's another
question.
slab for you if you do win.
He doesn't pay up anyway, so he still owes me one from when we were betting on Collingwood Carlton in that famous last round of the year, J-Bond, when we denied Carlton the crack at the final. So, yeah, whether I'd ever see it, whether I'd let or not, would be a different story. Because if you can't pay up with one, how's you going to pay up with two? Anyway, look, he can get out reasonably fast when he wants to. Rock and roll do. I mean, as last time I drew one, as Nathan ended up getting across me with Spring in his step, who was very fast, and I was actually holding my legs. I had to grab hold and went back around for the retake, and it was a quick lead time that night. So, look, if he composes himself and does everything right, he can get out fast enough to lead, no worries. And he has to be tested from here going forward. We've cuddled him so far, so... But then again, it's a bit like what Nate said with I'm Ready Jet when I was listening to him yesterday. Our main aim is the Hunter Cup, not the Bendigo Cup, so we won't be doing anything silly tomorrow night, even though I think he can still win regardless of where he is in the run.
Is he 99 to 100% screwed down regardless? I know you said the handicap, but is he'd have to be very close to ready to roll right now.
Yeah, he's close enough. He had a trial last week, which was really sharp. He's not 100%, but you have to be pretty close going into these races because when we get to the Hunter Cup, we want to be 110%, not 100. So, he's ready to roll.
He just about broke the track record in a trial, so he must be like I don't know what his 107% is, but that he must be pretty close.
Well, the lead time wasn't super fast, so it was only the last mile we ran there, and they did have the track pretty firm. So So look, but he's sharp, and look, those good horses can run those times. Easy on the fence on warm mornings anyway. So look, I wouldn't read too much into the time of the trial. It was just how he felt, and he felt really sharp.
I'm going to save Andy for last, hoping that he wasn't lying. I'll tell you what, if you were mucking around and you're actually going to be with Rock and Roll Do, you might not be in the show for the rest of the year, Andy. I want to hear something because you said you were going to give something. Nathan, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, I think Mick's horse will probably get crossed early. I think Mick will have to be a little bit cautious on him. But if he is square when the gate says go, he can be quite quick. And if I don't think he's always square like that, but if he's straight and they say go, I think then he'll probably lead. But the chances of that happening are probably pretty slim. And Max Delight, I think, is a really fast horse off the gate, and he'll probably cross him. But I think Mick's horse is the best horse in the race, and if he has any luck in running, I think he'll be pretty hard to beat. His run at Cranbourne was full of merit, and I'm sure he'll be a little bit better this week. But it's a bit of a risk. It's probably a little bit like Shawnee in that it's have to just wait and see.
What are you hearing about Sicario? Because if this thing wins, it would be the greatest training performance, the greatest sporting performance in the history of my 43 years. What are you hearing, Nathan?
To be honest with you, I only spoke to Jason momentarily last Saturday, and he mentioned him, but didn't mention anything about me driving him. So we just left it at that. He hasn't said anything to me. I haven't even spoke to him since he put me down to drive him. So your guess is as good as mine, Javon.
I'll tell you what, if he wins, there's going to be a delay for the last race because they're going to need to. I'll be defribbed. I'm going to have to take the ambulance off course. Look after me. But good luck. He's achieved some amazing things, Grimo. Andy, rightio, your turn. Come on, fire away.
Well, no disrespect to Michael, but
all love and appreciation for Michael as a human. But I've got something to say. All right, go.
We've got very good figure form for a horse that's going around favourite from barrier 1. No, he's a quality horse, Rock and Roll Do. Probably 50-50 chance of leading. Nathan forgot to mention that he leaves the gate pretty good too on Sicario, so whether he chances his arm on him, that's probably debatable. Depends what he gets told to do, I suppose. Max Delight can leave the gate pretty good, but Rock and Roll Do was terrific at Cranbourne. It's very hard from that draw to get into the race, and he performed pretty well. So we know he's definitely the best horse in the race. He's got the draw. If he does lead, he'll be winning. If he doesn't lead, Michael can still probably get off the fence and make his own luck. So I think he's the one to beat. Sorry, I would have liked to bag him, but it's pretty hard to bag a quality horse like him.
Nathan, I know you said you've only spoken for 18 seconds to Grimo about Sicario. Are your initial thoughts that you'll be instructed to run him off the gate?
Oh, that's probably the way they'll want him driven. They're sort of aggressive camp, and I think that'll be the instructions. But like I said, your guess is as good as mine.
I actually think, Mick, that's good news because I think if a couple come out, they're going to run interference for one another, and Rock and Roll Do's going to benefit from that. That's how I read it. Well,
the other thing is too, they forgot about AG's White Sox, who's probably quicker than all of them if they run the gate. So they're all drawn beside each other, Sicario, AG's White Sox, and Max Delight. So if they all run out, the likelihood when that happens is generally gaps open where I could get off anyway. And, if that's the case, they're going to go hard. And, that's it. We can put our horse into the race at the right time. If they don't run out, well, hopefully we can lead. But, like I said, the narrative around Rock and Roll Do every start is a draw, and it doesn't matter whether we draw 1, 3, 5 or 13. It's never a good draw. So we seem to be talking about it all the time. But all I know is I've got him in good shape, and if we get a bit of luck, we can still win.
I love your use of the term narrative. Joshy Jenkins and you have been catching up. Narratives, the narrative of the race. Andy, I don't want to spoil the party here, be a party pooper, because best bets are coming up. But I've got to ask you, even though I think you are going to make him best bet, Whiskey Cavalier, is he immoral?
Yeah, I think he is. Rock and Roll Do is going to be my best bet, but I jumped off him now, so I'm going to get head Cavalier. Yeah, he's got more quirks than you, J-Bon, but he's got a lot more ability than you. So hopefully, going forward, he can iron out those quirks. But he's got a huge motor, and last start, he can still make his own luck, and not a lot of depth in that race. It'd be too good for him.
I'll tell you what, he'd want to show a lot more to say he's got more ability than me. You'd want to get him to a pretty high level to be saying that sort of stuff, Andy. But he's a big boy. I'm not quite as big a boy. I'm a big boy, but he's a bigger boy, and he was very, very good last start. But I'll tell you what, he cost me enough that I've been on rations since Cranbourne. So hopefully he can win Whiskey Cavalier. Right, best bets. Andy, you've given yours already. It is Whiskey Cavalier?
Yes, definitely.
Nathan, Jack, best bet, please.
Yeah, well, I'd be saying Whiskey Cavalier too. If anyone's seen it at Geelong, I watched that race with, I can't remember who with, but they don't come from where it did and hanging like it was at the 400 and go that wide and still win. But my best bet is Shawnee. I don't know where he'll get to, but I think he'll win.
I'll tell you two things. One, Hull in the end also came from that spot and won, so you can see it twice in one night sometimes. And two, apologies to whoever Nathan was standing with. He has such little respect for you, he can't even remember who you are. So if you're with Nathan when Whiskey Cavalier won at Beckley Park, we apologise and God bless you. Michael Stanley, I think I know who your best bet is.
Well, I was going to go with Rock and Roll Do, but I have changed. I just think Majestic Iso is way too short, so I'm going to make On Ready Jet the best bet.
I'm going to have a little multi, so I'm going Rock and Roll Do, who I think should be $1.70, and I reckon will start about $1.70, into Arden's Ace, who can't possibly get beat, I don't think, in the last race at $1.50. Do we all agree with that at least, Andy?
Well, I think he'll nearly lead from 12 last start.
Well, I'm not sure he was in 12 at the start. I think he was in barrier 8.5 or something. I don't know where he was, but he was. He nearly did lead. He should be winning, shouldn't he?
Geez, I wouldn't want to rob a bank with you, Dave.
Hey, I think you know I'm trustworthy and loyal, Nathan Jack. I'm not saying we've robbed banks, but I think you know I'm a decent fella. Michael, Arden's Ace wins the last, doesn't it?
Oh, you would think so if it gets a easy lead, which it should do.
Geez, I know you got the Hunter Cup in mind, but I really need Rock and Roll Do to win here, Mick, for a range of reasons. The only time you and I had a bet, you did pay up. So I will make sure, I'll go and be security guard and make sure these two slabs do come. By the way, if Rock and Roll Do wins or leaves at any stage, you and I are just going to circle Chris Albert and make sure he pays up. That's been Burning Questions for Pride's Easy Feed and Falvo Fruits. Well done to Mick Stanley, to Nathan Jack, and to Andy Gath. What are you wearing, by the way, Andy? Everyone wants to know. Every week we've got to find out.
Hugo Boss started the year off with, so just didn't raise the bar too high early, so we'll try and step it up from here.
Well, you won't be able to afford anything because you've been in the car for 4 weeks waiting for me, so I'm glad you've got some designer outfits at home. Well done, boys, and good luck on Saturday night.
Thanks,
Beauty, thank you.
God bless.